Welcome to social media, finding and maximizing the right channels for your business. In today's society where technology is changing at the speed of light, social media has become an essential part of business success. With so many different social media platforms, it's become increasingly difficult to know which ones will work for your business. Today's program, if you saw this live, this was the hashtag that we shared because this was a live event and we're now doing this as a webinar. So feel free to share this as the hashtag for this program, which is SM4Biz 2016. So let's talk about how to choose which social media channels are right for your business. In this webinar, we're going to discuss how to decide which channels to participate in and what to share on your best platform, how to promote your social media channel to find and increase your audience and prospects, how to use social media to become the go-to expert in your industry where everybody knows your name, and I'll share some tools and apps to maximize your time and effort on each channel. Let's talk about the 5 questions to ask when deciding which channels to participate in, because you need to know the answers to these questions before you can participate in them. And I'm going to answer some of these questions, like the unique attributes of the channels, and then you're going to answer the others when you get into this personally with your own business. So where is your target customer or client spending time? Number 1 question. You don't want to be on Pinterest if you don't have clients that hang out on Pinterest. And the same thing with Facebook or LinkedIn. You need to know where your clients are hanging out, where they're spending their time socially, because that's where you're going to want to spend the majority of your social media time. Where does the competition hang out? If the competition's hanging out in a certain place, it's likely that so are the clients and prospects you're searching for are also hanging. What are the unique attributes of each channel? And of course, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that as we move forward in this program. And is there an untapped opportunity? And untapped opportunities could be that your competition hangs out there, but they don't do anything, or they're not sharing the right information. So think about what kind of opportunity each channel or the channels that you would like to hang out in are offering. And how many channels can you do well and consistently? That should probably be question number 2, because you have to be able to be consistent on any social media channel that you participate in. Otherwise, it does you absolutely no good. You don't want to put up a channel, set it up, and then set it and forget it, because you will not get the followers. You will not get the clients. You will not get the prospects. It just won't make any sense. Why would they hire you if you're never there? Because they want to see activity and action. So the big question, the one question I have for today is, how many people access social networks via their mobile device? And as we go through this program, I'm going to ask a lot of different questions in between. Of course, I'll help you by answering them. But these are questions that you might want to know depending on how you're going to position your business. So according to pewinternet.org, as of June 15th, it was 40%. And I am sure that number has gone up significantly in the last few months. And here's some more statistics. The number of active social media users in the United States, according to Smart Insights, is 192 million. That's just in the U.S., and that probably is a slightly higher number as well. Active social users as a percent of the total population, 59%. Total number of social users accessing via their mobile device, 169 million. And in the U.S., that means 52% of the population is accessing via mobile device. Even though I just said 40%, it's really higher just in the U.S., but I guess they're comparing not just the U.S. And social media by age, with the 18 to 24 age being 28.3, all the way up to ages 55 to 64 at 19%. Here you'll see the greatest number currently access using social media is the 25 to 34 age range. However, there's a huge opportunity in the 65 plus range if you're serving that market, because according to this survey or this result from Smart Insights, that number is going to go from 14.6 to 16.6 million between 2015 and 2016. So those are interesting and good things to know. And then the top active social platforms, no surprise, Facebook's number one, Facebook Messenger number two, with Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram close behind, and then of course Google Plus and LinkedIn close, and Snapchat. Actually, Snapchat has increased quite a bit since then, and Skype and Tumblr. And then we have e-commerce by device. So people who've purchased a product or service online, that's via a computer, is 66%. And people who've researched or searched for a product or service online in the last 30 days is 71%. Visited an online retail store is 69%, and made an online purchase via their laptop or desktop computer, 60%, with purchases via mobile device at 26%. And I would suggest that that number has increased. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Facebook. And as we go through each of these platforms, I will share that I'm going to ask you a cute trivia question at the beginning of each one, and then of course give you the answer, because this is what I did for the live program. So the first question is about Facebook. How much money does Facebook generate per user in ad revenue? And this is per year. So you're thinking about it right now, and let me just help you by telling you that Facebook ad business now generates $9.86 for every user in the United States per year. That translates into $1,498,720,000 per year in revenue. Amazing. And there's no secret why Facebook is number one, and also why Zuckerberg is the richest young man in the world. So let's talk about Facebook by the numbers. The average age range of users, as I showed you in that diagram, is 25 to 45 years old. The gender of users on Facebook is 60% female and 40% male. The average annual income, 69%. Now, keep these things in mind, because this is important to know when you're talking about the products and services that you sell. 33.8% of U.S. internet users clicked on Facebook like button on blog posts they enjoyed. And I would say that probably is a little higher. Facebook has 2.5 million advertisers and 50 million small businesses. Think about that. 2.5 million advertisers. Wow. 500 million people use events every month, I being one of them. 1.44 billion monthly active users, and there are over 100 million hours of daily video watched and uploaded to Facebook. By the way, that number has definitely increased with the onset of Facebook Live, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Facebook's unique attributes. Facebook primary purpose is to build brand loyalty and reputation, to establish your business as an authority through interesting content and informational posts. Facebook reaches a variety of segments of an audience with just one post, although the number is dramatically decreased because Facebook really wants to sell more advertising. So the posts that you share about your business are probably only seen by 1 to 2% of your following at any one time, which is why you want to reshare and repurpose your content on Facebook as much as possible without being spammy. Facebook also offers opportunity to create ads to drive traffic to your website and blog. You're going to learn more about that when we talk about the Facebook program itself. And it encourages dialogue and depth with a particular customer base. So let's talk about who uses it. Everyone and their grandmother, literally. And they use it to stay on top of family news. Brands use it to build relationships and show off company culture. Very important. Entertainers use it to connect through video. Real estate, they showcase communities and properties. Weight loss experts use it to share success stories and images. Computer and IT professionals share horror stories and how they can help. And of course, nonprofits share hero stories, showcase volunteers and events. So if you're in any of these, and of course other industries, but these obviously are some of the top ones. that and how they use it. Let's talk about Facebook Live. So if you're not using Facebook Live, I'm not going to say why not. I'm just going to ask you to consider the possibility of using it, even if you're a little shy about a video. And I'm sure now, with all of the live streaming video opportunities there have been lately online, that more and more people are getting on the Facebook Live bandwagon. In fact, Facebook was brilliant in waiting to launch this for everybody until other people felt comfortable sharing videos and showing their own faces. Now everybody wants to do it. So if you want to show friends what you're up to, Facebook Live is a perfect opportunity. And I see people, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how to use Facebook Live. Your friends can react and comment while you're live, so you say hi to them. You can add filters, doodles, and masks to your videos. As you can see here, she added a cute little, some little headgear to her video. You can tap the finish button in your broadcast, and you can post the video to Facebook. You can download it to your phone, change the privacy settings, or delete it entirely. So it's, there's a lot of opportunities with Facebook Live. Here's one person. Janine Blackwell is a best-selling author, course creation expert, and named one of the top 40 business coaches in the world by Leadership Excellence. She does constant Facebook Lives. This was one I gathered when she was doing it live, and she had 74 thumbs up, 24 comments, and 1,475 views. That was just in a short amount of time while it was going live, and afterwards that number increased radically. And of course, the latest political race, we had Fox News showed live Hillary Clinton with her concession speech, which she did a lovely job and had some interesting comments. Some were nice, others were not. I think it's terrible how people attack one another on these social. That's the one thing you got to be careful of when you share your political views or views about certain things that are hot buttons to people. So I would recommend, if you're a business owner and using social media for business, that you might want to stay away from that, or share it in such a way that's kind and uplifting. I don't understand. This has been, in my opinion, I'm going to just get on my bandwagon for a second, the worst political climate I've ever seen in terms of social media, because people were attacking one another. And I just think, we live in a country where we have the right to choose, and we have the right to vote. We have the freedom to vote who we want to. And when people start attacking other people's views, it's attacking them. It's saying you're a terrible person because you're voting for this person, and I'm unfriending you because you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or you're a this or a that. And I think it's just really sad that we as a society allow this to happen. So I've unfriended people just because of the attacks they've made on other people. So that's enough of the bandwagon. So you can see Facebook Live can be used for all sorts of things. Here's two extreme examples. Sheila M. Cooperman is talking about therapy in her Facebook Live, and this was right as it started. She had 39 views within a minute of her starting her Facebook Live. And then there's the converse, Marianne Williamson, who's a celebrity, 417,000 views. And this was shared by Kelly Kecha, a great lifestyle and business coach and an amazing mentor to many. And so I put both of them up as examples to show you that you can be a celebrity and you can be an everyday person, and you can still have this wonderful medium called Facebook Live to showcase your expertise. So next, I'd like to talk about another feature of Facebook that I really like. Facebook has lots of different apps and things that you can use. And one of them is an app that you can use to add your newsletter sign up to your Facebook page. So this is one of my clients and friends, Carolyn from Loti, Florida. And we added her newsletter sign up to her, right directly to her Facebook page. And she gets about 20 signups a month just from this. So it's pretty good. It would be better if we promoted it. We don't really promote it a lot because she promotes a lot of other things like her live events. However, it's good to know that this is an easy way to increase your newsletter sign up. So you find it on the left. Facebook pages have changed now. So here's the Here's the navigation menu, which I like better than over here because it shows all the tabs, as opposed to here where you have to use the drop down and you don't know what's below that, and how many people actually do that. So this is also a call now button, but here's the low T news. So that was just where you find it. Here's what it looks like when they sign up and they just put their name and information. They hit join the mailing list, and then they get, this is page 2 to tell us more. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. They hit no thanks, I'm done. And then they're added to the newsletter through her constant contact database, which is really wonderful and easy way to, again, sign up. And this is something Facebook offers totally free. It's an app you just download to your Facebook page. Here's another one that I want to share with you to help you in posting content to your Facebook page. It's called Post Planner. I love Post Planner. It's postplanner.com. With Post Planner, you can get up to 650% more engagement because you can actually post a lot of items at one time. You can share other things. You can interact better. So it's a really cool tool, especially if you're going to be away for a while. You can still monitor your page, but if you have trouble coming up with content, say you're having a day where you're having just a great time coming up with content, well, this way you can post it ahead of time and plan to have your content shared on social media, and it allows you to share it on your Facebook page, on your profile, etc. So I like Post Planner because you can't pre-plan posts on your profile, but you can on your page, right directly on Facebook. But if you wanted to share more, this is a good program to use. And even though it costs money, it is only $7 per month. And if you're focusing primarily on Facebook, you can post your content ahead of time, and then the time that you do spend on the actual social media site, you can spend it actually interacting with people and engaging with them. So here's what Brian Moran had to say about Post Planner. Post Planner has saved us countless hours of work and provided more traffic and engagement for our fan page than we could ever have achieved without it. What would have taken around 5 to 10 hours of my time each week has turned into just minutes. And the reason is because they can gather content from other sources and share it. There's suggestions for for content. It's just really great. So I would recommend Post Planner as your go-to for Facebook. So let's move into LinkedIn. LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn for B2B. It's the largest business-to-business social network. Even though it's only visited 11% of the time per month, I think it's still a great channel for finding influencers and so much more, and finding the people you really want to connect with, especially if you're talking B2B or you're looking for decision makers. Because it's a little bit more difficult to find decision makers on the other channels, but on LinkedIn, they make it really easy. Okay, so here's LinkedIn's question. Your profile is 13 times more viewed when you have what listed on your profile. And this may surprise you. You may think it's your keywords. You may think it's your bio, but it's not. It's skills. Interesting, isn't that? So skills, this is what the skills look like on your social media platform. So you see Dottie Silano, who is a accounting expert in South Florida, has 87 endorsements for accounting, 79 for finance, etc., etc. And one thing about the skills is you can choose the skills you want. You can reorder them. You can delete the ones that you don't want to be known for. So it's a really cool tool to have. And we'll talk about that a lot more, as well as maximizing your channel when we get into the LinkedIn specific training. LinkedIn, by the numbers. Let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, the average age of users is 37.5 years old. The gender is primarily male at 56%, followed by 44% at female. Average annual income compared to Facebook's $69,000 is $83,000. 89% of all recruiters have recruited someone through LinkedIn, and there are 94% of recruiters on LinkedIn compared to 36% of job seekers. So that's really good to know. A lot of recruiters are looking for people to hire. Users spend an average of 17 minutes a month on LinkedIn, unless you're me and you're doing social media full time. So 17 minutes is not a lot of time to garner the attention of someone. And I'm going to show you how to do that when you do watch the LinkedIn program. People with the title CEO have an average of 930 connections. I don't have the title CEO, but I have over 10,000 connections, so I guess I'm above average. Yay! 13% of LinkedIn users do not have a Facebook account, my husband being one of them. He calls it Fakebook, but that's because he doesn't know how to use it or he doesn't have any interest in using it. That's fine. He uses LinkedIn because he just wants to be positioned as an expert in his industry, and that's where most of his contemporaries hang out. As I mentioned earlier, you want to be where the people are that you want to hang out with and the people that are your target audience. So the total number of LinkedIn users as of the time of this posting was 414 million, and 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn. So that's a pretty high number. That's actually a very high number. That means that the people who are the decision makers and have the money are using LinkedIn. So this was sources were TechCrunch and DMR Stats. Important. So let's talk about the unique attributes of LinkedIn. It's for business-to-business marketing, a place where another business owner can recommend your service to others, having worked with you in the past. LinkedIn is the largest professional network on the net. You can organize connections by tag, and you can get introduced by other connections, which is very cool. Who uses it? Recruiters, as I mentioned earlier, to find qualified candidates, businesses to attract business relationships, generate new leads, increase visibility and top-of-mind awareness, professionals to build credibility, to find new opportunities, and again, build credibility. Don't know why I said it twice. Freelancers is listed as the #1 industry, and art and design being the #1 in the freelance industry. And this is for people to showcase skills and to find work. Here's a cool tool that you might want to check out. It's called the Connected app. And the Connected app, it says, will soon be available on Android. It's actually now available on Android. So you want to go into the iTunes store and find Connected app if you're on an iPhone, or in Google Play Store if you're on an Android. And you want to use this tool to find people to connect with. And basically all you do is you swipe your phone right or left if you want to connect with someone or don't want to connect with. And here's some other things you can do with the Connected app. It displays news such as when a contact changes jobs or celebrates a work anniversary. If you don't have time to go to your computer to visit LinkedIn, this is a great way to stay in contact and find out what's going on with the people that you're connected with. You can send them congratulatory messages like the update, or message them privately. So if you like what they've said, you can like it. You don't have to go and actually do anything with it. It's really cool. You can browse potential connections and add them to your network, and you can send a private invite to connect by tapping the connect button. Very cool. Let's talk now about Twitter. Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned earlier that Twitter is my favorite social media channel for various reasons, one of them being it's taught me how to be a better writer. So let's talk a little bit about Twitter. And here's the question of the day for Twitter. What is the most retweeted tweet to date on Twitter? And if you guessed that it was Ellen DeGeneres posting about the Oscars, you would be correct. And wow, that was back in March of 2014. And look at this, how many retweets it has, over 3 million retweets and 2 million likes. This was taken months ago, so today it's probably a lot higher. So best photo ever. I think it is a great photo anyway. So anyway, that's just a little trivia that you might want to know. I'm going to give you another trivia question that you might not have thought about. What is the name of the iconic bird or symbol for Twitter? The little blue bird? Bonus question. And if you said Larry, named after Larry Bird of the Boston Celtics, you would be correct, because the founder of Twitter, one of the founders of Twitter, Evan, is from Boston, and he wanted to name his bird Larry. I love that. Very cool. Okay, let's talk about Twitter by the numbers. The average age of users is 34 years old. The gender is 50-50. Look at that. Average annual income, 50,000 compared to Facebook's 69 and LinkedIn's 83. So if your target market needs to have money to buy your products and service, you may not want to be on Twitter. Maybe they can't afford you. I'm not sure. But there are over 60 million Twitter users in the United States alone, and on average, 500 million tweets are sent per day. 40% of Twitter users watch and learn as opposed to tweeting. So there's a lot of people who are just stalking Twitter and not really participating. Twitter supplies tweets to the Library of Congress archive on an ongoing basis. And if you want to get your latest news on anything, you might want to consider Twitter. Although Facebook has been very good about a lot of news, simply because individuals post it, they're probably seeing it first on Twitter, because that's where the media hangs out, which is another tip. If you want to connect with the media, journalists, Twitter is a great place to connect with them. So when you're posting press releases on your website or blog and you're sharing them on other social media, be sure and share them on Twitter. So that's that. Let's talk about Twitter's unique attributes. Its primary purpose, as I mentioned just a moment ago, is sharing breaking news and quick updates. It's to promote new products, content, brand contests, collect instant feedback from your audience. It serves people looking for quick information, company news, and an immediate response to questions about products or events. So it's a great platform for customer service. It focuses on dialogue creation, starting conversations with customers. And it's known for the hashtag communication functionality. And here's ours, SM4Biz 2016, as I mentioned before. It's really the best platform for PR publicity purposes when traditional media does not respond, as I mentioned just a second ago. Who uses it? The entertainment industry, probably number one, to inform, update, and showcase. Celebrities to stay connected with fans, media to share late-breaking news, brands for customer service and special offers. And if you've been watching the recent political race in the United States, political news, information, finding like-minded, issue-oriented people, and voter outreach, Twitter is really a great place to be. You can connect with other people who, no matter what side of the political coin you are on, and you can definitely find like-minded people who share your views or have similar views. You can find authors. My authors are all on Twitter, because Twitter is a great place to announce your new books, book releases, share excerpts, give away free Kindle books, special offers, etc. You really, really want to be on Twitter if you're an author. So you can see these platforms show where you need to be based upon who's currently using them. So food service industry, another one. If you've not heard the story of all the food trucks that have promoted where they are on Twitter, that's really was one of Twitter's beginnings as a social media platform for the food industry, because food trucks would tweet where they're going to be at a certain time, and they had a ready audience willing to go and like, oh, I got to go to the corner of First and Main because my favorite food truck's going to be there at 1 o'clock today. And it was a great way for the food trucks to get the information out to their fans quickly, as opposed to having to worry about them finding them by accident or on purpose, especially if they couldn't be at the same location every day, every time. And it allowed them to move around more, which is very cool. So let's talk about a couple of social media tools you can use. Buffer, a better way to share on social media. Buffer, BUFFER.com, a great tool for sharing content in a mass way, as opposed to just one at a time. To find Buffer, it has a free plan, and you get one social profile per platform. So if you have, say, a Facebook page, a Twitter profile, a LinkedIn profile, you can upload all of them add all of them for free. If you have more than one of each, you can only use it for one per platform social profile, meaning that one Facebook, one tweet. And you can add additional you can schedule posts up to 10 posts per profile. So that's cool because if you want to schedule your post on any of the social platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google Plus, even Pinterest, you have to be on the awesome level to post to Pinterest and all of the others. But for the free one, you can post to the other four. So it's a really good platform for social posting ahead of time. It's just one of the many. I mentioned in another one about community. There's another one called Social Oomph. When we get into all of the tools to use in the time management program, we will really just discuss those in depth. Google Plus. Okay, Google Plus. Let me give you a little trivia about Google Plus. So here's the question. Who is the top Google Plus followed profile? And if you said Lady Gaga, you would be right, with over 10 million followers. I'm not sure how this relates to your business, but I just thought it was interesting trivia. So let's talk about Google by the numbers. The average age of users is 28 years old. So if your target audience is in that age range, Google's the place to be. The gender is mostly male with 67% and only 33% female. The average annual income is $75,000, so it's right in between Facebook and LinkedIn. There are 540 million active monthly users. That number may have declined slightly since we put this program together 3 months ago. The average time spent on Google Plus per visit is about 4 minutes, so that's not a lot. And I'm guilty of that as well. I post, I read comments, and I go. I probably spend about 10 minutes at the most on Google Plus, where on Facebook I might spend an hour, and Twitter another hour, and LinkedIn maybe another 20 minutes. So Google Plus doesn't get the amount of eyeballs or time spent. But when people do spend the time, the average sale order for a visitor referred from Google Plus is $40. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. That means that if you're posting content, I always share all of my events, like the social media live program I share on Google Plus, because first of all, the brands and the type of people on Google Plus might be more my target audience, with engineer being the top listed on Google is 29%, and 70% of U.S. brands have a presence on Google Plus. And of course, this was from Statistics, Brain, TechCrunch, and DMR Stats. So it's important to know all of these numbers when it comes to each of the social platforms, because you need to know if they're going to be the right place for you, as I've mentioned numerous times throughout this program. So let's talk about Google's unique attributes. The primary purpose is deliver information, spark discovery, and foster conversation between users scattered all over the world. So while the conversations are not necessarily as widespread as they are on Facebook, there are some deep dive conversations if you take the time to listen and watch and learn and participate. And because it's owned by Google, you increase the odds of getting highly targeted visitors from Google's organic search results if you have a Google Plus account. So if for no other reason than it's owned by Google, the world's largest search engine, or Facebook, which is the world's largest search engine according to Mark Zuckerberg, I think they're tied or neck and neck. You definitely want to be on Google Plus for that reason. So there are some things you can do to maximize your time. You don't have to be on there every day like you do some of the other channels, but you do need to have a presence, and you do need to promote at least with some consistency if you're on there. I wouldn't say you have to be on there, but if it were me and I had a web presence and a storefront, or any place where they'd have to look for me online, I would at least have a presence on Google Plus and try to at least participate once or twice a week. Most of my clients participate every day at least once, because they realize the value of it in terms of search engine marketing. So Google Plus social sharing are one of the most important factors in determining search engine optimization. As you just heard me mention about SEO, Google Plus is the place to be. And including social sharing buttons or a toolbar on your site's pages can increase content virility by up to 700%. No, that's not a typo. So you want to have the social sharing buttons on your website and include your Google Plus, because you'll notice that your followers or connections will increase greatly when you do, and it drives traffic back and forth. So let me show you a couple of examples of Google Plus results. So Lynn Federer, which is a CPA in Boca, has a Google Plus page. So when you are looking for an accountant or a CPA in Boca and her name comes up, in addition to her coming up here on Manta, LinkedIn, and Twitter, which she's smart because she has all three, it also comes up here, which is really important, meaning that she gets in the organic search results here and here because she has a Google Plus profile page, which means she has a Google My Business page. We're going to talk a lot about that in the Google program. So you definitely want to have a presence on Google Plus, especially if you have a physical location. Okay, so let's talk about who uses it and how they use it. Brands use it to share and link to content on their own websites to boost search. So if you're posting a blog article on your website, you want to share it on LinkedIn, link it back to your website so that when people search for it in the search engines, the Google Plus will come up much quicker than would your blog posts. So for instance, if you're someone's typing in social media and you have a lot of articles on social media, your website, because so many people have an article on social media, might come up on page 10 or 100. But if you have a Google Plus page and you share that same content on Google Plus, it's going to come up higher. How much higher? Only anybody can guess, but it will still come up higher. Your B2B networkers share and link to content on their own websites to boost search. Bloggers do the same to share and link to boost search. And tech and engineering find others in the same space to network with, share, and promote ideas. And of course, local companies, as I mentioned in this example, where a local company gets found because they have a local presence and a business office. So local companies want to get found locally. Here's another example. I presented this program to American Businesswomen's Association, and so I showed them when I typed in my own name how I came up 3rd and 7th position on page 1. So here's my 3rd position, and here's my 7th position. Yes. However, in 2nd position, I'm going to go back to this one, came up my Google Plus profile page. Okay, and then all of these came up for me on Google Plus, and then here's one for Cassie Eubank, who booked me for that program, and she came up in 8th position. Her own Google Plus page came up on page 2 in the results. So it didn't come up on page 1, but that's because she's not really busy she doesn't do a lot on Google Plus yet. I think I've convinced her how important it is. But however, when I Googled her name, my Google Plus page came up because I did an interview with her, and so mine came up on page 1 in the 9th position. So that's important to know. These things really do work if you know how to use them and if you share the right content. So here's some tools to use. First of all, we talked about the hashtag today was SM4Biz 2016. I did register that hashtag, by the way. If you have a unique hashtag that nobody's used and you want to register it, here's the place to do it. You register at twubs.com/p/register-hashtag. That's where you want to register your hashtag so that you can be known as the first person to grab it. By the way, people will hijack your hashtag, especially if it becomes popular. But at least you can say it was yours first. I'm not sure the value of registering a hashtag monetarily, but I do know that bragging rights are important, especially on social media. So let's talk about a couple other great tools. Easy Promos is a social lead generator. It's wonderful for creating promotions on Facebook and Twitter, your website, and for a mobile device. So check that out. Another really cool free tool. Let me show you a little bit of the back end. Here's some of the things that you can use. Each of these are apps that you can download, And so, for instance, if you wanted to create a sweepstakes and share it on all of your platforms, a Facebook sweepstakes, you could do that. And while they're not free, the apps are $15 a piece. They might be worth your while to investigate. So I would suggest looking at them. Promotional codes you can create. These are really easy because you just upload them to your website or to your social media profiles, and you can use them that way. So they're easy to use, which is a lot cheaper than hiring a developer to do some of these things for you. So you can promote your social media channels. Let's talk a little bit about promoting your social media channels. Update your Facebook cover photo often. When you do that, that automatically shows up in your followers' timeline, or in your timeline, and your followers will get a notification that you've updated it. So that's important, because if you do it often and then people like it, they'll click like. They might even click share. You want to create ads on Facebook. When we get into the Facebook, we're going to talk a lot about ads. You want ask other people to share your channels and offer rewards for them for doing so. You want to practice cross-channel promotion. For instance, one of my clients has a low Facebook following and a very high Twitter following. So I've invited her Twitter following to go and like her Facebook page. And you might say, well, why would you want to do that? Don't you want different people? Well, yes and no, because different people do different things on each of the channels. So on Facebook, they might share your programs or might even buy something that they've seen on Twitter but never clicked a link for. So it's okay to practice cross-channel promotion. You want to include your channels in all of your marketing, your email newsletter, your print material, the bottom of your email, etc. You want to place your social media links on your websites. I can't tell you how many people that I interviewed in my entrepreneur program that did not have their social media links on their website, and I'd have to go to each channel to find them, because what I wanted to do was tag them so that they would see that that their interview is live, and then they would share it. And it worked out very well, but it created a lot more work for me. So if I'm doing that, I imagine some of their following may be doing that as well. You want to speak and sponsor an event. Create a custom hashtag, as I just mentioned, and use it. Be sure and use it. Every one of my clients has custom hashtags that they've created. And it takes a while to find one that's not being used. I have found ones that were used, old ones that were used once or twice, and those are okay to use. But basically, if you can try to create a custom one, and that's getting harder and harder, obviously, with all the hashtags. So let's talk about this. Now, at the very beginning, I mentioned how you would like to, I want to go back a page. I'm sorry. You want to analyze and maximize your social by visiting each channel, joining groups, watch the activity that's going on. So you have the lurkers, as I mentioned earlier. You want to take notes. You want to comment. You want to share your own information, your own stuff, and of course share other people's when appropriate. You want to measure engagement, see how many people are actually participating in your content by sharing and liking and commenting. And of course, you want to be able to go mobile. So those are just some of the tips to analyze and maximize your social media. And there's a lot of tools to do that. So now, almost to the end. Just because a social network exists doesn't mean you must be there. Choose the channels where you can maximize your time and effort for greatest return on investment. And means the most impact and engagement for the money. Just because they're free doesn't mean they cost you nothing. They do cost you time, and sometimes, yes, they do cost you money, especially if you're hiring experts. So I thought it would be important to share this. And if you're watching this and you have not participated and are not in our social media live program, I did want to also mention that we have a program going on called Social Media Live, the new socialmedialive.com. And if you're watching this and you haven't signed up, you can sign up for only $97. The regular price is $197. And while it's a 6 live 60-minute webinars covering Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and more with replays, it's actually going to be more, because we're doing 7 already, because this is a bonus one I'm sharing in the dashboard of the member area, which will have information that's not on any of the other social media webinars. Plus we have additional on-demand sessions on time management, content creation, email marketing, building a tribe, major hacks, and over $800 in additional tools and resources. So if you would like to take advantage of that offer and you're watching this and you're not already a member, you can use Save $100 to save $100 on the new Social Media Live program. And if you have any questions about this program, feel free to email me at Heidi@redheadmarketinginc.com with your questions. If you are a member of the group, you can post your question in the Facebook group, and we'll answer it there. You can email me, and I'll be happy to share it if you'd like, especially if you ask a question I think everybody else would like to know the answer to. So thank you very much for listening to our program on social media, finding and maximizing the right channels for your business.